Could the NFL be instructing its refs to rig the outcome of games?
Yes, of course. And not only that, all the players are in on the act, and the coaches on the sidelines are in on the fix as well. The NFL is nothing more than pretend football, and every single game is fixed and phony.
I know, it might sound crazy, but I think I might have just found the proof.
You hear that, guys? James here, he thinks he might have found the proof that the NFL is rigged. Thinks that he might. Meanwhile, I've proven over and over again countless times for the past 4 years that the NFL is for sure rigged and scripted. So this is something I've already proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. But James here, he thinks maybe he might be able to prove that the NFL is rigged. Oh, I would love to see your maybe might be proof, James.
First, check out what happened yesterday, Broncos versus Raiders.
On 2nd and 10, the Raiders drop back to pass. And as the QB scrambles outside the pocket, he finds a receiver in the middle of the field. And as you can see here, he's touched down by the defense, and there's only 6 seconds left. So now the clock's just going to run out, and if you bet the Broncos -7.5, you're going to win, right?
And he's got Lockett, but I don't know if they'll be able to spike it in time. Oh, a flag comes out. Defense, number 22.
Wrong, the refs call a meaningless delay of game, stopping the clock and keeping the game alive. Because with just 4 seconds left, the Raiders decide to kick a field goal for no reason whatsoever as time expires. So they end up losing by 7 instead of 10. And because of that meaningless decision, you lost the bet.
Okay, so all of that could be just a coincidence, right? Well, maybe, but the internet certainly doesn't seem so.
There was nothing coincidental about the ending of that game. And James here, he basically squashes his own proof by suggesting maybe it could be coincidental. So it's like he doesn't even have balls enough to stand next to the proof that he thinks he might have found and say, yes, this is proof that the NFL is rigged. No, he's saying maybe it might be coincidental and maybe he might have found some proof. And then he shows a really solid example. That was an excellent example that the NFL is scripted. But James here is still waving the notion that maybe it might be a coincidence.
Well, speaking of the ref, here is something that I think is worth looking into. Now, the ref of this particular game is a guy named Sean Smith. Now, according to statistics tracked over the past 3 seasons, NFL teams have covered the spread 49.4% of the time. So basically 50-50. And in this case, the home team is the Raiders. But in games that Smith officiates, home teams are only covering the spread 37% of the time.
Of course, we get the typical fanboy crap from James, blaming the referees for rigging the games and not putting any emphasis whatsoever on the players. He didn't bring up how the players are in on it. He didn't bring up how the coaches are in on it. He doesn't talk about how every single game is fake and phony. He doesn't talk about the fake tackle attempts. He doesn't talk about quarterbacks throwing interceptions on purpose. He doesn't talk about the ball doinking the uprights every single week during field goal attempts, right? He doesn't talk about the field goal attempts being manipulated by technology. Of course not. He does what every typical fanboy does, blame the refs, and then act like it's only happening during certain games. No, it's every game. Every game is fake and phony. All the players are in on it. All the coaches are in on it. Grow a pair of balls, James. Have the balls to make a video where you look the camera in the eye and you say the NFL is scripted. The NFL is rigged. The NFL is fake and phony. But no, James doesn't quite have the intestinal fortitude to stand by his own example and claim that the NFL is rigged. So check it out, y'all. Unlike James, I'm going to show you an even better example that the NFL is rigged and scripted and all the players are in on the act. And I'm also going to show you a player admitting that the NFL is entertainment and that the outcomes are not determined on the field.
This is a classic rigged NFL clip. Everyone should see this clip at least once because it is the best proof that the NFL is as rigged and scripted as the WWE. Just like you see pro wrestlers talking to each other, signaling each other in the ring, here you have Doug Baldwin giving the thumbs up, which is clear as day, and then you see the defender go right over the top and whiff this tackle on purpose, just as planned. There would be no reason for Doug Baldwin in the middle of a football play to take his hands off the ball and give a thumbs up, other than if he was to signal the defender to go over the top so he could get this scripted touchdown. This is no different than two pro wrestlers telling each other the next move they want to perform in the ring and then simply performing that move. The NFL is no different than the WWE, folks. Share this with a friend. Share this with a family member who's still watching these rigged and scripted games. Share this with everybody on every social media site far and wide so that everybody knows the NFL is fake, phony, scripted, and rigged.
Super Bowl 37 champion Dwight Smith, who was a part of that team, 2 pick sixes. We all know what he did against the Raiders. But he joins us here in the Ronnie T. Crash Show as we count down to Super Bowl Sunday. Well, I mean, this is something that no one's ever seen before. I mean, you're hosting the Super Bowl. The Bucs are in it. It's Brady versus Mahomes. I mean,
that was something I predicted at the beginning of the year. I said if the NFL wanted to have the home team in the Super Bowl, this would be the perfect year. Pandemic, people can't travel, so it's not a shock to me.
How big of an advantage do you think it will be for the Buccaneers not having to travel anywhere? Because obviously, when you were in the Super Bowl.
That's not no advantage. I don't have no advantage.
No advantage? Okay.
No.
All right, so.
That's like saying they have advantage at every home game during the year. So, I mean, it ain't like they won every home game. Y'all know all the X's and O's, man. I'm just sitting at home watching. I don't like to get into that because I don't believe the game is really decided on the field. So, I don't get into all the X's and O's and talking, man. Like I said, I played in the game. I set a Super Bowl record, and we knew every play they was running before the game started. So, hey, who am I to say?
Well, tell us about that week leading up to the Super Bowl, because that was the big thing. Bill Callahan was the Raiders coach at the time. Obviously, John Gruden had just come over. Tell us about that week of preparation leading up to the game and how it was executed by you guys. I mean, you could know which plays are coming. And
Tim Brown and Jerry Rice come out and say that they made them run John Gruden's offense?
Yes. Yep. It was his offense, and you guys knew exactly what was coming. Did you know every single play?
They didn't run that offense all year, though. Ain't it odd that you would run it when you're playing against us?
So did you guys know every play before the ball was snapped?
I'm just saying, man, the game ain't decided on the field. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, I predict who's going to be in the Super Bowl. It ain't about who has the best players. Football is entertainment. So what's the most entertaining Super Bowl? The Bucs in their first one against Patrick Mahomes. Has nothing to do with if these are the best teams, because we know that these aren't the best teams. The Bucs are not the best NFC team.
So who's the best team in the NFC, in your opinion?
The Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
But the Bucs beat them at Lambeau, though. I mean, the Bucs proved it. They went there. They beat Aaron Rodgers at his place.
You can say what you want, man. Like I say, the game ain't decided on the field.
And if you made it this far, thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Click that little bell notification, and I'll see you next time.